Hi guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a uniform from Poland. Now this is in the Wz.68 Moro pattern. It was produced in 1982, and before we get things started, there are a number of variations of this pattern, usually just minor differences in color, and these were used by different branches such as, fire department, police, Air Force, and this is the Army version, which is like a greenish color. I previously owned a garment from the fire department and it was like black, so there's small differences, but they generally look the same with these, vertical shapes kind of like integrated. Another thing to note is that even though this pattern was succeeded by two other patterns, Wz.69, I have a video on that one, the leopard pattern, and the Wz.93, the current Pantera pattern. I've seen pictures of this thing used up until at least 1993. I've seen pictures of it paired with Wz.93 pieces, so who knows how long it actually was used by troops for. This is a winter version. As you can kind of tell, it's a little bit thicker on the inside, although it is missing the inner lining, which is buttoned up, and it doesn't have the fur collar. So usually there would be an inner lining here, but this version does not have that. All right, well, now that we've gotten through the history, let's kind of start looking at the uniform. So I already took a pretty close look at the pattern before, but just to go around, it's kind of unique in the scale of this pattern is extremely small, and that you can only really see the variations up close. So from a distance, this kind of appears like a solid color, kind of a grayish color, but when you get up close, you can finally start to see that there's these, slight little bits interacting with each other. Yeah, so there's some faded spots on here. This was definitely used for a while. But yeah, the pattern itself, not too much to say about it, although it's kind of interesting for sure, just because of how small the scale is. And yeah, as for the cut of the uniform, the bottom has two pockets that are both slanted, and they both can, fit your hand in pretty deep. They both have one button to button them up right here, and yeah, it's pretty handy and convenient. If you want to store stuff or keep your hands warm, you can put them in there. Nothing on the top, no chest pockets, but on the left arm we do have a pleated pocket, which also has a single black button to button it up. On the arms, we don't have any methods of, buttoning the wrist, but as we can see here, we have the fabric in here for when you do have the liner, you can button it up like that and have that inner layer. We do have some interesting, we got the symbol for the armed forces here on the shoulder epaulets, as well as the top button has that kind of embedded symbol, while the rest are all just kind of regular. And on the inside we can see the base fabric, and here we can see the buttons for the inner liner. This is probably for the liner as well, but yeah, we have numerous buttonholes here for the inner liner, which I currently do not own. But let's go to the bottom left where we can find the information. So here we have our stamp, Wz.5636, 98 by 163. So this is, chest in centimeters, height in centimeters, 12/1982, December 1982. And then we got these other stamps, which are kind of hard to read, but probably indicate more production information. And then the other stamp here, the MON stamp, which is found on most of these Polish uniforms. Yeah, so pretty cool that this stamp is still intact after all these years. Let's look at the collar. You can see here on the back of the collar that there's buttons for the fur collar, which is missing, and like most Polish uniforms I've seen, they've got a tag on the back, so you can write your name or other information on there. Really not sure what this particular piece is for. If you know, leave it in the comments. I'm sure it's something practical. I just am not sure at the moment. But yeah, it's a pretty cool piece. We'll flip it over. Show you the drawstring on the back. You can see it's kind of scrunched up, the material, the elastic. Yeah, so you can see from this view, you can't really see the pattern all too well. It just kind of blends in. And even with my eyes, you know, I can tell that it's, you know, it blends in very well. It's not just the camera's compression. It's not just the video compression. Even just looking at it from this short distance, it already seems to be one color. But maybe that's what they were going for. But yeah, thanks for taking a look with me at this uniform. Don't have too much else to say about it, other than I really wish this had the liner. That would be pretty cool, but unfortunately it does not. And we'll just talk about, like, you know, the prices of this uniform. Not super common in the US to find. Definitely something you'd have to look online for. I'm sure back in the day, you know, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, there was probably more of this surplus, but nowadays you can find it online. A lot of sellers shipping it from Poland directly, so you have to worry about that international shipping cost. But I'd say for something like this, I've seen people asking around like $70 or so for like a winter uniform, and maybe like 50 or 60 for a regular uniform. That's here in the States, obviously. Probably a lot cheaper if you're in Europe. You can find it, you know, much easier, and also the shipping isn't as far. But if you're here in the States, you might have to pay a little bit more. But like I said, this isn't super crazy rare or anything, just a little uncommon, and it was used for quite a few years, so there's probably a lot of pieces of these floating around out there. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you, and bye.